Hey guys! So the Polish self-propelled 155mm howitzer Krab has been called one of the best modern howitzers and has performed excellently in battles to free Ukraine. Therefore, it is definitely worth the attention it's received. So today we're going to talk about what mission the Krab achieved in Ukraine, what is so unique about it, and what's so good about it. The Krab was developed in Poland by Msta-S Wola. They are likely named after the well-armored and quick European brown crab in the Baltic Sea. The SPG combines the South Korean K9 Thunder chassis, the British AS-90 Braveheart tower with a 150mm cannon, and the artillery fire control Webb Electronics Topaz system. The 2011 version used a Nexter Systems barrel and the UPG-NG chassis, but since 2016, production has used the K9 chassis and a German Rheinmetall barrel. The Krab is a modern weapon that is assembled from highly effective components and with excellent electronics installed. The Polish armed forces already have 80 howitzers, as well as ammunition, command vehicles, and workshops to repair the weapon and electronics. The producers still have 42 howitzers to deliver. But let's dig into the history of the Krab, since the final product went through many changes and improvements. So, reaching the desired technical level that we see in the Krab today wasn't easy, and the project almost completely failed several times. The idea to create a Polish heavy howitzer arose in the 1990s. They decided against buying ready-made foreign creations in favor of producing their own from scratch, but that turned out to be harder than anticipated. The first Krab variants were based on the Polish Kalina family chassis. However, micro cracks were soon discovered in the chassis because of material defects. Additionally, there were problems with the cooling system, as well as leaks in the fuel and exhaust systems, which led to the crew getting poisoned. These problems led to the decision to replace the chassis supplier. In December 2014, the choice was made for the South Korean Canon K9 Thunder produced by Samsung Techwin, which finally ended the issues. However, there were problems elsewhere. There was another problem from the British side. The English stopped releasing barrels for the SPG AS-90, so the project had to be seriously changed. Experts from the National Defense Ministry conducted research on producers of 155mm artillery barrels and chose one from the French conglomerate Nexter. On the other hand, the remaining elements of the howitzer, like the dual brake, the cradle, the breech mechanism, and the intake device, were made by Polish producers. Firing tests on the new 155mm barrel from Nexter Systems, integrated with the Polish components, were all successfully passed. In the future, they decided to buy a large amount of barrels from Rheinmetall for significantly better monetary conditions. However, from 2014 to 2016, after financial investment, the production chain for the barrels on the Msta-S Wola was seriously modernized, which gave the Krab Polish-made barrels. That's how one of the most modern and powerful self-propelled artillery systems in the world, compatible with NATO 155mm ammo, was made. The Krab weighs 52.1 tons in its battle configuration. It is 39.5 feet long, almost 12 feet wide, and almost 10 feet tall. It has a 12-cylinder diesel MB MUT 881 KA500 engine with a turbocharge and 1,000 horsepower that lets it reach 42 miles per hour on roads. It can travel at 19 miles per hour on level ground and 10 miles per hour off-road. Just look at how fast it can move on a dirt road in a Ukrainian field with sunflowers. Despite its massive weight, thanks to its pneumatic suspension, the Krab exerts less pressure on the ground than a typical semi-truck. It can travel about 240 miles on a full fuel tank. Obvious advantages include an additional electric 5 kilowatt engine. So, it can be used without turning on the main engine. This video shows how Ukrainian soldiers control the tower and aim the barrel while the engine is off to save fuel and engine resources. The operators fire upon an enemy in comfortable conditions. The interior space provides sufficient space so no one gets in the way. They can operate in the quiet and quickly and accurately fire upon their targets. The armor is made up of Mil-A 125/60H steel plates. The crew's defenses are reinforced with explosion-proofing, fireproofing, and ventilation systems. The Krab is equipped with the FIN 3110L ground navigation and topographical system, a GPS system, a ballistic RLS MVRS 700 SCD system, a targeting system, as well as the OBRA 3 SSP-1 self-defense and warning system. External communications are provided by the digital Radmore radio station and internal communication with the WB Electronics Phonet. The ballistic defenses are provided by a laser target warning system, the kitted Dugra anti-fire defense system, and the automatic Typhus B contamination system. The system is so sensitive, it can even detect a normal laser pointer used in presentations. When the system detects a laser, the crew can launch smoke grenades to protect the system and move it to a safe place. If the system detects chemical contamination in the environment, the machine creates a pressure gradient to prevent the polluted air from getting inside. The electronics that are fully developed in Poland are responsible for the very high accuracy and firing speed. They use the targeting and ballistic computers. The first is used to control the tower, and the second to show the system on the battlefield, as well as take responsibility for any ballistic calculations and provide accurate targeting to fire. The base weapon of the Krab is the 155mm 52 caliber weapon on the cradle. It has a long, solid barrel with a breech end and a wedge gate with vertical wedge movements and dual brakes. The breech chamber is capable of loading all types of NATO 155mm standard ammunition. Loading shells and missiles is semi-automatic. The Krab is equipped with an electric lift and targeting mechanism. The Krab's targeting system uses 3 ballistic computers. They are a control terminal which significantly accelerates the targeting, loading, and firing processes, a guidance computer which, after receiving the corresponding data, calculates the parameters and controls the tower's turning, and a ballistic computer which shows the tactical plan on a digital map and processes the corresponding settings for effective and accurate fire. Additionally, the entire targeting and firing process are supported by the artillery radar Doller, which is installed above the steering column that is used to measure the initial velocity of artillery shells. The cannon is also equipped with an inertial ground navigation system with a topographic connection with GPS. It uses the Avimo DFS-90 type scope for direct target observation. Additionally, the Krab has a 12.7mm large caliber WKWB machine gun installed on its base and a K-10T sight on the tower roof. The sides and rear of the tower have optional places to mount additional equipment, like Pioneer equipment and masking nets with boxes for additional equipment. The howitzer takes just 30 seconds to change modes, has a firing range of 2.8 to 25 miles. Its practical firing speed is up to 2 shells per minute or intensive fire at 6 shells per minute. But the howitzer can only operate for 3 minutes under such intensity. There are 40 shells in reserve, 29 in the tower, and 11 inside. Because of Russian aggression, Ukraine has already received 18 Krabs from Poland, who has been supporting Ukraine since the onset of the invasion. Additionally, It has become known that Ukraine signed an agreement to obtain 60 155mm crabs for $700 million and is now the #1 client for the weapon. Also, the EU is partially funding the purchases for Ukraine. According to Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, it is one of the largest, if not the largest, export military contract for Poland in the last 30 years. Currently, the group of crabs is waiting to finish the final formalities and is already ready to be sent to Ukraine. 100 Ukrainian artillerists have undergone training from Polish soldiers and can effectively operate the weapon in battle. It's a significant event for the Krab that it is being used in direct combat, because before this, it had only been used in training. Recently, with the help of the American HIMARS systems, the Ukrainians have been able to suppress enemy AA and destroy many enemy ammo depots. There are many videos online of ammo burning and exploding deep in occupied territory, which resulted in neutralizing the Russian artillery advantage. Russian attacks with the volley fire tactics have stopped. Until these events, the Polish Krabs, French Caesars, Czech Dana, and American M777 had to resist the superior Russian forces on a front about 620 miles long, since Ukraine was running out of 150mm ammo. As you may guess, in this case, nothing can delight a Ukrainian artillerist like preparing ammo for battle when they know that almost every fired round from the Krab will deal damage. The Krab's main opponent is the Msta-S, a 152mm division self-propelled howitzer that was accepted into service by the USSR in 1989. Currently, it is considered old, even though it's had several modernizations. The Msta-S has a lower caliber, 152 to 155, although that isn't substantial. It's slightly lighter than the Krab, but has a shorter barrel which affects its firing range. The farthest the Msta-S can fire is 18 miles, and less accurately, when the Krab can fire a standard round 18.6 miles, or a round with a gas generator 25 miles. Additionally, the Krab has a more modern loading system, larger reserves, more fuel, and higher speeds. As you can see, the Polish weapon is more effective in most ways and has already proven itself in southeast Ukraine. Well, that's all for today. Be sure to leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you learned from this video, and we'll see you next time.